Back to CBS Mornings. It's been nearly 3 weeks since a fiery train derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, exposed an entire community to potentially hazardous chemicals. Now the EPA says it's taking over the cleanup process and ordering rail operator Norfolk Southern to pay for it. Now there are calls for change to make sure nothing like this ever happens again. But the question now is, how did this happen in the first place? Roxana Sabiri has been looking into that, and she's in Youngstown, Ohio. Roxana, good to see you. People there have a lot of questions still.
They do. Good morning, Gail. The NTSB report detailing the causes of this incident is not expected for another year or so. But there are several factors in the ways trains operate across the country that could have contributed to this disaster. A disaster that has left many people in this community frustrated and scared.
It was a waste of 2 hours.
A waste?
Well, sure.
Matthew Stokes, who works near the site of the toxic train derailment, says the state's new medical clinic didn't help him with his headache or chest pain.
I did talk to the toxicologist. There's nothing they can do.
While people here wait to learn about possible health risks, officials are stepping up pressure on Norfolk Southern.
In the face of Norfolk Southern's arrogance and incompetence, I want you to know we are fighting back.
EPA Administrator Michael Regan announced he was ordering the rail operator to pay for the whole cleanup of East Palestine or suffer the consequences.
If the company fails to complete any action ordered by EPA, the agency will immediately step in, conduct the work ourselves, and then force Norfolk Southern to pay triple in cost.
But the kind of train that derailed in East Palestine highlights a growing cost-cutting strategy in the rail industry, known as precision scheduled railroading, which seeks to streamline rail operations by lengthening trains while cutting the workforce. The train that derailed on February 3rd stretched 9,300 feet long, weighed a whopping 18,000 tons, and had around 150 cars.
How would you address this trend?
Look, this has been part of a drive by these multi-billion-dollar companies to wring every penny of profit out of the rail system. They have cut their workforce massively, including safety positions, including maintenance positions.
Between 2011 and 2021, the number of workers at the largest U.S. rail companies decreased by 28%. Over the same period of time, net revenue increased by around 58%.
What I can tell you from our members on the ground is they feel like safety has degraded.
Greg Regan is the president of the AFL-CIO's Transportation Trades Department.
There is a real impetus to go faster. And so we've seen that pressure decrease the inspection times from about 2 minutes down to an average of 30 to 45 seconds.
He says data from the Federal Railroad Administration shows the rate of accidents has increased over the last 10 years, particularly in rail yards. Yesterday, the Department of Transportation called on the entire industry to immediately make several changes, like using technology to improve inspections and replacing older tank cars with newer, more secure ones, something rail companies have long resisted and Congress has not made a priority.
We definitely need congressional action. We need some of the people who have stood with industry to stand on the side of safety instead.
Do you think East Palestine is a wake-up call?
I think that none of us can look at what happened there and say that everything should continue just the way it was before.
In a statement, Norfolk Southern said, "We are going to learn from this terrible accident and work with regulators and elected officials to improve railroad safety." Today, former President Trump will visit the area. He won 70% of the vote in the county in 2020. Nate?
Roxana, thank you.
You know, Norfolk Southern, their CEO said, look, we put $1 billion a year into safety. We reinvested in our railroad. I think the question, though, from people watching this is, yeah, but you're making billions more than that. Yes. You had some excess. You could have done more. And also the length of that train, I mean, we're talking well over a mile, almost 2 miles in length. And did they take the time to do little safety things like move the heavier cars up front? So if there is a fire, you can stop the train more quickly. Maybe it never makes it to the town. These are the kind of questions that people are asking.
And I think the people there still don't know, are they in danger? What are the long-time ramifications for this? You hear about the headaches and the coughs and people not feeling well, and nobody seems to know exactly what the real effects are at this particular time. It's scary.
The good news, if the federal government holds Norfolk Southern accountable and they have to pay, they clearly have the money. Revenue's been going through the roof.
And I'm no mathematician, but a decrease in workers, increase in revenue equals these types of accidents. It's not a good equation.
It can happen that way, that's for sure.
All right, coming up, the psychological